Warhammer 40K Battle Report. Orcs versus Tyranids.
Hey everyone, welcome to another J Night Battle Report. As always, my name is Jay, and today I have in store for you another J versus J tactical battle report. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet, but it's something along those lines. So essentially, as I did with last week, it is going to be me playing against myself, but because I'm not playing against an opponent, I have the ability to be as transparent as I want for my tactica. So I will be covering certain reasons why behind each move, and that way people are learning various tacticas and why I'm doing each thing and what's the best thing to do in different scenarios, and you're going to see that. And it's kind of cool in this battle report series, so I really hope you enjoyed it. That being said, I still definitely want to play against real people. So remember, only you can prevent J versus J battle report. So if you are in the Peterborough area and you want to play a game against me, contact me at j@jadedproductions.com, or you can contact me on Facebook. And either way, I would love to play against opponents. Definitely come to Peterborough sometime and play against me. I would love to do that, and it'd be a lot of fun. Well, without further ado, we can talk about the game today. So today I have the new, once again, I'm trying out the new Waaagh Ghazghkull supplement, because it's been kind of fun. It's been fun to run bikers. I haven't run them a lot. I'm usually with my Canwall. So today I'm trying against pretty much they're another really nasty opponent for them, Tyranids. 1,500 points of Tyranids. However, I've kind of designed both lists to really stomp each other, so I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to win. On one side we have the non-bikers filled with power claws galore, which will instant kill the Tyranid warriors. But on the other side, I have Tyranid warriors with toxin sacks and bone swords, which cause instant death on a 6 to wound. So both of them can just destroy each other. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see what happens. And of course we have Ghazghkull on the table, because he's you know, the supplement's named after him. You have to have him on the table. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Please go check it out. So it's gonna be 1,500 points of Waaagh Ghazghkull supplement versus 1,500 points of Tyranids. So without further ado, we'll get the armies. Just to mention you guys, well, today it's going to be a game of the Emperor's Will, and the deployment zone is going to be Hammer and Anvil, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, we'll get to the armies and the deployment. So here is 1,500 points of Ghazghkull Waaagh supplement. It's going to be awesome. So as you can see, I have a lot of elites. It's going to be fun. So leading my army, my warlord is Ghazghkull. You have to have him as your warlord. And his warlord trait is he is outflank, which is awesome. So him and his squad will be able to get across the board pretty easily, since they can outflank. And we are playing the deployment zone of Hammer and Anvil, so that'll make it even sweeter to be an outflanker in this game. Very cool stuff. I have 2 HQs, a Pain Boy and a War Boss. The War Boss has a Boss Pole, Power Claw. I also decided to give him the Super Cyborg. Now the reason is I know he's on a bike, so he already has Relentless, and I know he already has a Feel No Pain because of the Pain Boy, but just in case if the Pain Boy gets killed, or the War Boss wants to separate off, he still gets his 5-up Feel No Pain, and he has Eternal Warrior, which is also really sweet, because that way if he runs up against an instant death weapon, he doesn't die. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Good thing to keep him alive. So that's good stuff. Pain Boy, standard Pain Boy. I have 2 squads of knobs, and they're basically WYSIWYG. This squad has 4 claws, 2 big choppas. This squad has 3 claws, 3 big choppas. And then I have 2 squads of boys with a knob with a power claw and boss pole. Pretty standard stuff, and that is 1,500 points of Ghazghkull. Wow, and I'm super excited because these guys are kind of designed. They can kill some Tyranids, I think. We'll see their army as well. And now, here are 1,500 points of Tyranids. It's going to be awesome. So leading my army, of course, my warlord is a Hive Tyrant. He's got wings. He's got Twinling Devourers, 2 sets of Twinling Devourers. He's got a lot of stuff, you know. What else did I give him? His psychic powers. His psychic powers are Psychic Scream and Catalyst, and he also has Dominion because, of course, he took both powers from the same one. So that's good stuff for him. And his warlord trait is he gets an extra victory point, or 2 victory points for every independent character slain in a challenge. So that might happen. We'll have to see in this game. Leading him, so he also has 2 squads. Oh, sorry, he also has a Tyranid Prime with 2 sets of Bone Swords and Toxin Sacks, and Flesh Hooks. So he's going to be pretty nasty in close combat too. He's going to be pretty fun. And 2 squads of warriors. Now I'm proxying them as 2 sets of Bone Swords each and Devourers. So that's pretty standard stuff. So 2 sets of Bone Swords. So basically they have instant killing capability. They might be able to kill some knobs. Knobs might be able to kill them. We'll see. It's basically both lists are kind of designed to destroy each other. So it's going to be a really cool game. Squad of 2 Hive Guard. Squad of 2 Venom Thropes. 3 Molochs. These guys are going to be hilarious. So Knob Bikers will be in trouble, and people will be in trouble in general. Molochs are pretty nasty. So I'm very curious how this list will do, because this list will be very good against orcs, but the orcs list is going to be pretty good against this list as well. So we'll have to see in the game. Here's what the board looks like after deployment. As you can see, one objective is here, and one objective is over there being guarded by the warriors in the tower. So the orcs won the roll-off, and they decided to go first, because they want to get as far as they can before the Molochs come in, and probably just get in close combat before they can, because it's a pretty, it's pretty easy for bikes to get in close combat. So the boys, they put their objective there, so that way the Molochs, if they try to deep strike on them, there's a high risk factor, because they might go off the table or away. They're being guarded by one squad of boys. Ghazghkull, Thraka, and a squad of boys is off the table. They're going to be outflanking. Perhaps they come in turn 2, we'll see. And the rest of the bikes are just going to be trying to shoot up across the table turn 1, and we'll see what happens there. On the other end, so the Tyranids know they're going second. So, intentionally, the Hive Tyrant is staying a little back so that maybe he can fly next turn and stay in a good position. And one squad of warriors is on top of the objective. Now, they do have objective secured because they're running a normal organization chart, so only troops for the orcs can contest. So there's only really one squad of boys they have to worry about for contesting, so the goal is to survive there. And they have a squad of Venomthropes. And they have a squad of Venomthropes in there with them. Sorry, I moved them just slightly. Because that way it gives them a good cover save, just to protect them. The other guys don't need the Venomthropes in this game, because there's nothing really that they're shooting is going to go through their armor. And there's not a lot of terrain to give them a better cover save, so they'll just march up, and hopefully they have to fight against the knobs when they come. So the Tyranid Prime is attached to the warriors to give them a better weapon skill and ballistic skill, and hopefully help them in close combat, because the pain is going to be brought very quickly. And the 2 Hive Guard are going to do some shooting, so we'll see what happens in turn 1. Do the Tyranid seize? No.
Waaagh! Ghazghkull! Turn 1.
So the first squad of bikes advances upward. And the rest of the bikes stay close behind. There's a narrow gap between these two pieces of terrain, so they're going to try to keep extra room for the other guys, because they really want to, both of them, be able to get through. And the other bikes are going to jump up right beside them. So it's time to get as far as we can, turn 1, as possible. Yeah, and he died in the meantime. So there's nothing to shoot at, and the orcs really want to force conflict early, because if they can get all their knobs in the other deployment zone quickly, the Tyranids really don't have an answer for all those knobs at all at the same time. So what they're going to do is turbo boost. So this turn, they're going to turbo boost all the way, basically crossing the deployment zones. So now, these knobs are going to be right in the face of the Tyranids this turn, and the Tyranids are going to be forced to, essentially, they have to go for them, because if they don't, these knobs are going to eat them for breakfast. And the other squad is going to do the same thing. Now, if you noticed, I attached the war boss to the squad of the blue guys, because the red bikes with the blue guys, because he already has Feel No Pain, so we might as well just go bump that squad, and because he'll feel no pain either way. So that way both squads are heavy hitting, and they're going to be pretty scary in close combat. So the orcs turn 1, pretty uneventful. So they stayed on their objective, and they're just going to chill there on top of their objective, hold it as long as they can. Over here, non-bikers turbo boosted up because they want to force this conflict. Basically, Tyranids are going to have to throw everything they have at one squad, because they can't do it at both. So we'll see what happens and see how well they survive. They might be able to eat the squad, they might not. So it's going to force the conflict early, and essentially this game is going to be decided very quickly. So we'll see what happens in Tyranids, turn 1.
Tyranids, turn 1.
So the Tyranids have chosen their target, the red squad. Since they don't feel no pain, they're going to be slightly easier to deal with, other than the war boss. But the war boss is going to be in a challenge, probably, with my Tyranid Prime. So they're going to advance up, and it's time to focus on them. Hive Guard, going to move up. And they're also maybe going to try to charge in, but they're probably charging with the reds as well to get as many of their attacks in as possible. They're just going to stay there and look pretty, because they already have a good shooting range on the other non-bikers, so why move? He is going to go into long flying mode. So the Tyranid, so the Hive Tyrant is going to fly. Psychic phase. How many dice do the Tyranids get? So the Tyranids get 3 plus 2, 5 dice. So the Tyranid, so the Hive Tyrant is going to try to cast Catalyst on them, giving himself Feel No Pain as well. 3 dice. And it goes off, and a peril. Ooh. What happens on the peril chart? 6. That's pretty awesome. So, what's the leadership check? He passes, so now he's a 3+ invul. Smash. All that awesome stuff. Armor Bane. Flesh Bane. Good Bane. York's going to try to deny on 3 dice. And not denied. Finally, the Hive Tyrant is going to try to cast Psychic Scream on the Not Bikers. 2 dice. Fails. That's unfortunate, but it'll be okay. Shooting phase. Hive Tyrant shooting at them. 12 shots. 3s to hit. Twin linked. Good shooting. Twin linked. Wow. Not bad, but still 10 hits. Strength 6, toughness 5. Strength 6, toughness 5. 3s to wound. Not a lot of wounds. 4 failed. So the closest 2, which are 2 claws, unfortunately are killed. Good shooting, Hive Tyrant. So now the warriors are going to fire at the non-bikers. Here are the first 9 shots of 18. 3s to hit. Pretty. And the second wave. Nice. So 12 hits. Strength 4, toughness 5, 5s to wound. There's some wounds. And now the 5 Jinx saves as well on them. 1 wound. So 1 wound off the closest, which is a claw. Ouch, that is not good. They are getting hit hard. So now the Hive Guard are going to continue to pick. Actually, they're going to pick on the larger squad. 4 shots, 4s to hit. 3 hits. 2s to wound. 3 wounds. So because these shots ignore cover, they shouldn't jink anyway. They'll take their 5 up Feel No Pain. 2 pain felt, so 1 dies. Ouch. But good shooting Hive Guard. And that one guy wants to come with him. Bring me with you. And now the warriors are going to shoot at those non-bikers. First 9 shots, 4s to hit. That's not very good. And the last 6 shots, that's better. Strength 4, toughness 5, 5s to wound. That's a few wounds. And 3. They're just going to take their normal armor save so they won't have to jinx. So 4 up armor save. Failed 1, Feel No Pain. They're okay. So leadership test here, because they definitely lost more than a quarter of the squad. They're at leadership 10, because the war boss, sorry, 9. And either way, they pass. And they're okay. Now the fun time. They're going to try to assault the non-bikers. Overwatch. First 10 shots, 6s, twin linked. There's a few hits already. And 6s. Wow. And the last 5 shots, 6s. Oh, man. And 6s. There's going to be a lot of hits here. Wow. Nice shooting, not biker. And strength 5, toughness 4. So they need 3s to wound. All but 1. So a lot of wounds there. 8 4-up armor saves on the warriors. 1, 2, 3 failed. So 1 is dead. Closest 1, killed. Ouch. And their distance, 4 inches. That's enough. Pile in. Yes. Alright, so there's no challenging right now because the war boss is way back there. He's over there, so they can't, they wouldn't actually be able to get in close combat even after consolidations. So it'll be okay. They'll keep fighting. Maybe a challenge next turn. So first, at initiative step 5, the Tyranid Prime. So the Tyranid Prime gets 5 attacks. Now he needs 3s to hit because the weapon skill 6. 3 hits. And he needs 4s to wound because I forgot to mention all the Tyranid warriors and Prime have toxin sacks. So 4s to wound. 6s cause instant death due to bone swords. 1 wound. Okay. So 1 wound on the closest. Him. Next, 4 warriors get 16 attacks, and this is going to hurt. Alright, so the 8 at a time. The first 8 need 3s to hit. That's not very good. And 4s to wound. 6s cause instant death. 1 instant death. No other wounds. And then the other 8 attacks. 3s. That's what I'm talking about. And 4s. Wow. So that's 3 instant death wounds. So first they're going to first the Tyranids are going to apply the 2 non-instant death ones, removing those guys, right? Because it's a good idea to remove the non-instant death wounds first, because like shooting, and then the 3 instant death wounds. Now the first one goes through him. Second one goes through him. But he has Eternal Warrior due to his new cool armor, and that is why he was given it. So he actually gets on his armor save, he actually gets his 5-up Feel No Pain, and his... Oh no, because his instead, it will go through his Feel No Pain, so he just loses a wound. So 2 wounds left on the War Boss. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So now that broken War Boss makes his pile-in move, but he is still too far out, so he doesn't get his attacks in. That's brutal for the War Boss. So, the Orc War Boss cannot make his extra attacks because he's just too far away. So he lost combat by 7. So he is now leadership like 2 for this check. See if he passes his leadership test. And he fails. He failed normally. That's pretty bad. So what happens on the failing chart? So on the failing chart, 4. I'm going to re-roll that because of boss pole. Because of boss pole? Yay! That's what he wanted. He wanted a 1, which means a bunch of wounds are allocated but cannot be allocated towards characters, and it counts as passed because it's +2 due to the Ghazghkull Waaagh supplement. So he passed his test ultimately, and combat will continue. So they pile in 3 inches, and he piles in his 3 inches. But it's not looking too good for that War Boss. Ooh, it's not looking too good at all. And that is First Blood. So after 1 turn, here's what the score. The battlefield looks like. So right now the score is 1-0 because the Tyranids got First Blood, which is very important in this game. Unfortunately, the non-bikers, they just didn't do well because the Tyranids rolled stupidly well with their instant death weapons. And orcs just can't fight that because they don't have an invul in close combat. So that's pretty nasty. But the game is not over yet, but it's not looking too good for the War Boss. So basically what the Tyranids did was they decided to attack that squad because it looked weaker. They didn't have Feel No Pain. So they're just more likely to die. And it worked. They wiped out the entire squad and got First Blood, because First Blood is really important in the Emperor's will. But we're going to see what happens, because these non-bikers are very close. And they might be able to wipe out that entire squad this turn. So we'll see what happens in Orcs, turn 2.
Waaagh! Ghazghkull! Turn 2!
So first, does Ghazghkull come back on? No, he does not. Movement phase. These guys are going to go try to save their War Boss brother. And they're going to move around and assault insanely these guys. Because if they figure if they can save their War Boss brother, they'll be okay. And they'll probably stay in close combat. No, they'll probably rock them. So it's a good idea to maybe do a multi-assault. We'll do that. Because that way he can assault them and get his attacks on them. He won't be able to probably kill them. So multi-assault will hopefully keep them in close combat because they'll be fearless due to them. So that'll keep them alive in case those Molochs come next turn. That way it won't squish them into oblivion. So we'll see how that works out. Shooting phase. No shooting phase because essentially these non-bikers really want to wipe out this squad before they get to the War Boss. Yeah. Assault phase. They're going to roll how far they go in. No Overwatch. 6 inches. They pile in 6 inches, and he is going to try to assault them. So I guess they would get their Overwatch in this turn. They get 4 shots, needing 6s to hit. That's 6s to hit. Nothing. Didn't matter anyway. And he assaults in, so he's probably going to eat them for breakfast, but we'll see what happens. So in this case, challenge issued by the War Boss and it's going to be accepted by the Tyranid Prime. So they will continue to fight. However, everyone else now is getting pulled away because those non-bikers are going to go in and attack them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Non-bikers might survive this. We'll have to see. So we'll start off initiative. Tyranid Prime goes on the War Boss. He gets initiative 5. He gets 4 attacks. He needs 4s to hit. Sorry, 3s to hit, but doesn't change anything. And 4s to wound. 6 is instant death, so no Feel No Pain against it. 1 wound, no instant death. Uh-oh. War Boss gets his 5-up Feel No Pain. And he's okay! Good job, War Boss. So now all of the Tyranid warriors go on the knobs. This is going to hurt the knobs, but it It was worth it taking it for the team, for the Warbot. Alright, 12 attacks. They need 3s to hit. Well, there's a lot of misses in there. And 4s to wound because of toxin sacks. 6s, instant death due to bone swords. 3 wounds. No instant deaths. Okay. So, 3 5 up feel no pains due to Pain Boy. 2 pains felt. And closest, click him. He is dead. Ouch. Now, initiative step 3, the big Choppa and Pain Boy get to hit. I totally forgot the Hammer Wraths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hammer Wraths on this side. 5 Hammer Wraths need 4s to wound. 3 wounds. 3 4-up armor saves. 1 failed, so 1 wound on the closest. Alright, now that the... Oh yeah, Hammer Wrath on him on them. But we'll do that. Alright, we'll do that now. Hammer Wrath. 6s to wound. 1 wound. 4-up armor save. He's okay. So now that all the Hammer Wraths are done, the big Choppa goes on them. 4 attacks, needing 4s to hit. 1 hit. 2s to wound. 1 wound. And the Pain Boy, 4 attacks. 4s to hit. 3 hits. 4s to wound, reroll due to poison. Or no, 3s to wound, reroll due to poison. And Furious Charge. So all of them hit, all of them wound. 4 wounds at initiative step 3. 2 failed, 1 dies. And 1 of them dies at initiative step 3. Now initiative step 2, the Hive Guard get to go on him. Hive Guard get 2 attacks each. They need 4s to hit. Nice. And 4s to wound, being strength 5. 2 wounds. 2 4-up armor saves. Passes 1. Feel no pain. Fails. So 1 wound on them. And now the fun begins. They all charge in. So we'll do that one first. That guy only gets 3 attacks because he loses extra attack due to the multi-charge. He loses his charge bonus. So 3 attacks. 4s to hit. 1 hit. 2s to wound. 1 wound. 1 attack. 1 wound left. 1 wound left on the closest Hive Guard. War Boss on the Tyranid Prime and the rest of them. He gets his 4 attacks. 4s to hit. 2 hits. 2s to squish. And this will instant kill everything. 1 wound. And it instantly kills the Tyranid Warrior because he's toughness 5, strength 10, instant killed. And the other 2 claws on the Tyranid Warriors. 6 attacks due to they don't get an extra attacks due to multi-combats. Wow! 4s to hit. All hit. 2s to wound. This is not good for them. And they're all dead. And they're all dead. So not only that, the Knob Bikers were able to save their Capitan and wipe out the entire squad, but that squad is still alive. They did lose by a lot, but they're fearless due to being in Synapse range, and that's exactly what the Orcs wanted to do. Wipe out that squad, consolidate that way. So now, it is the Orcs' turn. They consolidate towards the Hive Guard and stay in combat, and that was a great plan in the end, because they are all alive, and they get to go squish them, and they can't be attacked by the Molochs next turn. So now, after Orcs turn 2, the board is looking much emptier now. They were able to save their captain and wipe out all those guys. Another 8, so the HQ's dead, but of course it's not the Warlord. Warlord's over there. And he's awesome. So I don't know what's going to happen now. They killed them, and now they're in the deployment zone ready to hunt down these guys. So they're not in a good position. Plus, Ghazghkull is still off the board. However, all those Molochs are coming in, but they don't have much of a juicy target, so it looks like they're going to go pick on over there. So we'll see what happens in Tyranids turn 2.
Tyranids, turn 2.
So the Molochs, do they come in? All 3, yes. So the Moloch is going to try to land dead center on top of their objective, just for fun. Where does it end up? Hits. Uh-oh. And so it lands right where it wants to, and hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. Ouch, this is gonna hurt. So 2s to wound. That's a lot of dead Orcs. So the closest 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are dead. Now let's see if it can be placed, which I think it can. So yes, it can be placed, and it is now there. Out for the Orcs. Alright, the second one is just going to land over there in a safe zone, right here. See if it where it ends up, yep, scatters 5 inches that way. That way it's going to play it safe and not try to go off the table, not die, and that way it can just keep bouncing around the table in future turns. And that's where he ends up. The next one is going to try to land right here to give some support to the Tyranids in case it needs it next turn. Where does it end up? Maybe it'll scatter towards them. Nope, hits. Landing right there. And so end of the phase, they lost more than a quarter of their squad. Time to roll, see if they're leadership 7. They fail. What happens on the failing chart? 3, which becomes a 5. He wants to reroll that due to boss. Reroll due to boss pull. 3. Unfortunately, that hurts. Because the squad only has 8 models, not 10, it counts as failing. And how far does it go back? 4 inches. Which actually keeps them on the table just slightly. That's crazy. So that one squad alone has been pushed and has to recover next turn just due to the one set of attacks of the Moloch. That is pretty crazy stuff. Alright, so now they're going to move. Let's see if they can move through cover. They're going to move 5 inches. That's not bad. So they'll each jump down a couple levels. He's going to go down and out 2. He's going to go down to the bottom. And essentially that. They want to go down and they are going to be trying to go help their brethren. They need to go help their brethren in that battle because, as you can see, knobs are going to eat them for breakfast. He is going to go flying over there towards their objective to make sure to get rid of those orc boys. That way, the Tyranid, the Hive Tyrant, can just go score the objective by himself. Land over there. Psychic phase. How many dice do the Tyranids get? 4 plus 2, 6. With 4 dice, he's going to try to cast Catalyst on his brethren and get it on himself as well. Goes off, no perils. Orcs are going to try to deny on all their dice. Not denied. Shooting phase. He's going to try shooting them since they're in range and might as well see if they can knock them off the board. So, 12 attacks. Twin linked. 3s to hit. 1 miss. They all hit. This is looking good for the orcs. And 2s to wound the orcs. A lot of wounds. Now there's cover because of the monster creature and stuff. So they get a 5-up cover save. And they're pretty much all dead anyway. And the whole squad is wiped out alone because that one round of shooting. Wow, good job, Hive Tyrant. So in this case, as I mentioned, the Hive Tyrant went back just to support him. And by wiping them off the board, the Moloch can actually just sit on the objective right there and score it for the rest of the game. Because anything can score an objective now, and they've essentially scored that objective, and the orcs only have 2 more squads left, or 3 more things that they can hypothetically send that stuff, so things aren't looking... Oh, there's plus Ghazghkull. So we'll see where they want to send Ghazghkull, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting orc turn 3 when they do. That's it for the shooting phase. So they are going to now try to jump into assault. So 2d6 minus 2 inches. 6, so 6 inches total. I think that's enough to get the few Tyranid warriors into assault. So there they go. However, they don't have flesh hooks, so they will be going in initiative step 1, unfortunately. So this giant mess, first pile in with the Pain Boy and the Big Choppa going in initiative step 3. Pain Boy needs 4s to hit. Gets 2 hits. 2s to wound. Sorry, 4s to wound due to poison. 2 wounds. Big Choppa's 3 attacks. 4s, 2 hits. Strength 6, toughness 6, 4s. Nothing. So 2 wounds on the Hive Guard, 4-up armor save. Both okay. Good rolling. And now the gong show that is known as Initiative Step 1. This will be messy and really, really crazy. So everyone piles in. And anybody who can't pile in, they'll pile in. And so now let the bloodbath begin. Just for easy purposes, we'll do 1 attack instead of attacks at a time. So he's going on the Hive Guard. 3 attacks, 4s to hit. 2 hits, 2s to wound. 2 wounds. Hive Guard is going to die. The War Boss and him are going on the Warriors. He is going on the 1 remaining Hive Guard. Here are the War Boss's attacks. He needs Actually, everyone needs 4s. Here are the war boss and the knob's attacks. 4s to hit the warriors. And 2s to instantly kill the warriors. That's 4 dead warriors. So the warriors are going to die, but they get their attack. And he gets to go on the Hive Guard. Hive Guard get their attacks. Initiative step 2. 4 attacks. 4s to hit. 1 hit. 4s to wound. No wound. 3 attacks on the Hive Guard. So 4s to hit. 1 hit. 2s to wound. 1 wound. Hive Guard also killed. Now it's time for all of those warrior attacks on the squad. This will do some pain. Alright, so 5 warriors get 20 attacks total. They need 3s to hit, 4s to wound, causing instant death on 6s. Let's see what happens. Alright, so the first round of 10, 4s to hit, or 3s to hit. And as I mentioned, 4s to wound, 6s cause instant death. 1 instant death, no wounds. Ouch. And the other 10 attacks, 3s. Oh, that's what I'm counting on. And 4s, 6s instant death. Once again, another instant death, but no wounds. Ouch. So 2 knobs are instant killed. That's where the side they were on, so they are dead. Ouch. So Tyranids definitely lost that combat, but the Tyranid is still alive. So everyone piles in, and because he's fearless due to the fact he's in Synapse. Good job, Tyranids. They kept them on the board. So after Tyranid's turn 2, here's what the board looks like. So that was a crazy turn. Not a lot of orcs left on the board, but of course there's that squad off the table ready to come back in. And so here's why the warriors jumped in. Basically, they had to keep the knobs in check. And unfortunately, they whiffed a lot with their to-wound rules. They should have wounded a lot more, but they were able to instant kill 2. So they got 4 wounds total on that. And it wasn't too bad. You know, it just, he did survive, and that's the key. Providing 1 warrior survived, it held the orcs in place for their turn 3. Because right now, the Tyranids have that objective and this objective. So Ghazghkull is going to only be able to go for 1 of them when he comes in eventually. And these knobs are going to have to go for the other one. So tactical wise, it was a good idea to hold him there so they can't do anything turn 3 and then have to spend turn 4 and 5 getting in line. Plus there's the chance that that 1 warrior might be able to get lucky and kill 1 or 2 more knobs or something. You'll never know. So maybe they'll get lucky and kill, you know, another knob, weakening the squad and just keeping them in check. So there's still 2 wounds left on the war boss, which is cool. And there's still 3 Molochs left on the table, and they'll be able to bounce around the table and go for the knobs as well. So right now things aren't maybe not looking too good for the knobs, but we'll see. The score is still currently 1-0, and we'll see what happens in Orcs turn 3.
Waaagh! Ghazghkull, turn 3.
Alright, Orcs turn 3. Does Ghazghkull squad come in? Yes, they do. 1, 2 left, 3, 4 right, 5, 6 my choice. 4, right. So there they go, 6 inches on. Now the reason why they're going to come over here for tactics purposes is because they got to go for that objective. They got to go and hold it. The Knob Bikers can possibly get to the other objective, so there's a good chance they can hold it over there because there's not much over there leaving them alone. But over here, they got to go and score this 1 objective. That way they get both objectives, and they're essentially going to have to play for the win because they're down 1 point due to First Blood, and they have Line Breaker, but so do the Tyranids, and they're always able to get Line Breaker by just popping up with the Molochs. So they got to go for this 1 objective. However, that's it for the turn because they can't run, and they could maybe shoot a little bit, and because they can't run due to Ghazghkull having slow and purposeful. So that's it for them. And they're out of range for firing, so that's it for the firing phase. All right, assault phase. Tyranid warrior goes. He's going to focus on the Pain Boy. So 3s to hit, 2 hits, 4s to wound. Yes, 6 is instant kill. Ooh, an instant killed. 2 up, lookout, sir. Off the Pain Boy because he is an HQ. He's okay. Claw, instant killed. Wow. Now, Big Choppa and Pain Boy go. Big Choppa attacks. 4s, 2 hits, 2s, 2 wounds, 2 4-up armors. Both failed. Pain Boy, 4s, and 4s. Reroll. Both hit wound. 2 armor saves, and he's dead. But he did take down a knob with him, so good job, Tyranid warrior. And they get to D6 consolidate. And they consolidate 4 inches towards the objective and the Moloch. So that was a redeeming turn for the Orc Knob Bikers. Since they killed that 1 guy, there's not much standing in their way now of this objective. So that's a good shape for them, because now they can just move in, probably kill those Venom Thropes with relative ease, and score that objective, which is good. The reason why I save the Pain Boy is he is an HQ, he gives Feel No Pain to the squad, and he'll be keeping them alive for a long time to come, because they are toughness 5 and 6, so not a lot is going to go through their armor or instant kill them anymore, so that's in great shape for them. On the other hand, it's still, the Tyranids still have both objectives, so they're going to have to go for them. But let's see what happens in Tyranids turn 3.
Tyranids, turn 3.
So, no reserves. Beginning the movement phase. This Moloch is going to go back into reserves. The reason being is if he stays here, these guys are going to eat him for breakfast. He will not stand really a chance against that many non-bikers. He's hitting on, 4s, wounding on 2s, but they also get their Feel No Pain. He doesn't get many attacks, so he would be eaten for breakfast, and they'll bounce off him this way. So it's better to just let him disappear, and that way he can focus all of his... He can come back next turn automatically and reap some havoc. And same for him. He's going to go away and just reap havoc later on the non-bikers. And he's going to stay there because he's still a really long distance away from them, and he's going to just keep scoring that objective for the Tyranids. So now, because this section over there should be pretty safe due to all the Molochs coming in and protecting it, the Hive Tyrant is going to go for the non-bikers, because that way, when he goes for them, he can actually represent. Those Venom Thropes are not going to hold that objective. Essentially, the Hive Tyrant is the only thing protecting it. So he's going to fly. Psychic phase. How many dice does he get? Tyranids get 4. Orcs get 2. Alright. He's going to try to cast Catalyst on himself. And it goes off with 1. He's also going to try to cast Psychic Scream on them. And it goes off with 1. Orcs try to deny. And it is denied. Shooting phase. Hive Tyrant. At them. 12 shots. 3s to hit. Twin linked. This is going to do some damage, hopefully. That did. 3s. All but 1 hit. And 3s to wound, because they're toughness 5. That's a lot of wound. They're not going to jink, because they get the 4-up armor anyway. So 4-up armor save, and Feel No Pain. So we roll all at the same time. Ooh, there's a couple failed. 5-up Feel No Pain. 1 failed. Pain Boy's going to look out Sir, and it's look out Sir. So the wound goes to him.
No! Thanks.
So that is essentially Tyranids turn 3. Not a very eventful turn, but now the Hive Tyrant is going to go after them. He's flying, so they really can't shoot him that well, because they're going to need 6s to hit, reroll, 5s to wound, and then he has a 3-up armor save with Feel No Pain, so he's not going to really die that easily or be shot out of the sky, so they might as well continue forward and go for them. But the Molochs are now off the table, and they're ready to pounce on these guys wherever they end up. So we'll see what happens in turn 4.
Waaagh! Ghazghkull, turn 4.
So at the start of the Orc turn, he is going to call the
Waaagh! 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 Waaagh!
That way, these guys can run and assault the turn they come in. They're going to have to separate from him, though, so that they can actually do it. And they're going to separate from him this turn, so that way they can actually take advantage of the wall and be able to run and assault this turn, like the old fleet. It used to be awesome, but not anymore. And then that way, Ghazghkull is on his own, but he has a 2+ invul for this turn in case the Molochs try to land on him. They're not going to hurt him too much. So they're just going to separate from him and keep going towards the Moloch. Let's see what happens. And he's going to separate. Yes. As predicted, these guys are just going to drive around the terrain and end up right in there. Because, might as well. That way they can go for these Venom Thropes, wipe them off the board, and force the Hive Tyrant to go after them. They want to draw him in and just keep making him focus on them. So they are going to go and wipe out the Venom Thropes. 3 dangerous terrain techs. They're all okay. So they're there and now going to shoot at them. 9 shots, 5 to hit, twin linked. 2 hits from the first. And twin linked. Not very good. 3's to wound. 3 wounds. 3 2-up armor saves due to be shrouded and in terrain. 2 failed. Ouch. So the closest one is dead. But they're fearless due to being in synapse range. They're gonna run now that the Waaagh's been called. 6 inches, yay!
Let's get him, boys. Run.
Assault phase, they're gonna try to assault him. Overwatch, can't happen. Yeah. And distance, 7 inches. Plenty to get them in now that they call. And they're gonna try to assault him. No Overwatch either, but they need a minimum 6 inches through 2 steps of terrain. They're not slowed down by terrain, they just need to be difficult. Distance, 6 inches, perfect. Dangerous terrain checks, they're okay. They ride their motorcycles vroom, 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 all the way up to the top floor to take on the Venom Throat. Combat first, Venom Throat goes first. Initiative 7, silly. 2 attacks on the knob, 1 hit, 2's to wound, 1 wound, and he has 1 wound left, so a 4-up armor. He's okay. Sorry, 2 Amarath attacks. Both failed. 1 failed to wound, 1 wounded. He has a 4-up, 5-up armor. He's okay. And now the Big Choppa goes on him at initiative step 3. 4 attacks. 3's to hit. No, 4's to hit. Sorry, 4's to hit. 2's to wound. 1 wound. 5-up armor. He failed. Managed to do it. War boss. 1-2 to kill. He's dead. So Venom Throats are destroyed. And they're going to consolidate towards the objective. They consolidate 6 inches, so they all stay in the middle floor of this terrain and just guard the objective. And this combat, they have stick bombs. They have to go initiative step 2. He hits with 3. Moloch gets 3 attacks. 1 hit, 2's to wound, 1 dead, 1 orc boy squished. So now the orc boys hit back on the Trigon / Moloch. Alright, so we'll do the first round of 12, and we'll just keep counting these. And we'll do the wounds at the same time with so many attacks. So 48 attacks, 3s, and 6s. So far, 1 wound. Next wave, 3s, and 6s. Another wound. And next round, 3s. Not bad. And 6s. 2 more. And final round, 3s. Holy moly. And 6s. Nice rolling. Alright, so 6 wounds on the Moloch. Fails 3 of them. 2 wounds left. Now the Power Claw knob. Let's see if he can finish them. 3s. Oh. And 2s. 2 wounds up. 1 wound left on the Moloch, but he's still alive and fearless, so he's not going anywhere. So that was a pretty successful combat right there. And yeah. So Orcs won that combat, and it's in good shape. So after Orcs' turn, that was Orcs' turn 4. Things are starting to look up for the Orcs. It's long game, right? Obviously, that Hive Tyrant is going to go for them next, and he's going to be pretty nasty. But he can't assault for another 2 turns, so he'll just have to shoot at them for a couple turns. So we'll see what happens there. And then over here, Orcs are going to take him, that Moloch, and the Molochs are only going to be able to come in and, I guess, assault in or contest, or they'll have to do something over there with Ghazghkull. So we'll see what happens there. So right now the game is really close. It's probably too close to call right now. We'll see what happens in Tyranids, turn 4. Tyranids, turn 4. First Moloch is going to try to land there, just to give some support to the Hive Tyrant when he arrives. So he's going to try to land right there and see what happens. Does he end up? 6 inches that way. So he lands right there. And the other one is going to go right here and provide some support. Maybe he'll get lucky and scatter onto the Orcs. So where does he end up? Hits. Nice. And he lands right there. So movement phase, he's going to drop down in jump infantry mode and just jump right there so that he can assault them potentially turn 5. Phase, how many dice do Tyranids get? 5 plus 2, 7, and Orcs get 5. So Hive Tyrant is going to use 3 dice to try to cast Catalyst on himself. Or sorry, Catalyst on the Trigon, the Moloch, which also goes on himself. And it goes off with 1. Orcs are going to use all their dice to try to discourage that particular Catalyst. They want to remove Feel No Pain off the Hive Tyrant. And it is removed. And then the Tyranids are going to use the last 4 for Screaming. It's time for some Psychic Scream. And it goes off. So the Orcs, their leadership 9. So 2d6 plus 2. I rolled an 8 plus 2 is 10. So they get 1 wound off, but they get feel no pain. He's okay. So that was not a very eventful psychic phase. Shooting phase, he's gonna run 3 inches, just closer. Hug those boys. He's gonna destroy them. He's gonna run 2. 6 inches. Run right there. Yay. Now he's gonna shoot at them. 12 shots, 3s to hit. Reroll, 3s to hit. All hit. And 3s to wound. Because majority toughness is still 5. Wow. Alright, so I'll have 4 plus armor, plus 3 up. Oh, sorry, 5 up, feel no pain. So let's just roll. Here we go. 4 up armors. Uh-oh. Plus 5 up, feel no pain. Uh-oh, pain was felt enough that it kills all of them. Because there's only 2 wounds left on the war boss. 1 wound left on him. And, oh sorry, there's actually 5 wounds left. So that's okay. So we're going to try to keep the war boss alive. So I'm going to look out Sir all of them off the war boss. Look out Sir all of them. All of them successful. So he is alive. Boy is dead. Pain Boy is dead. And, whoop. And there's 1 wound left on the war boss. So he's 1 wound left. Things are not looking too good. Leadership test on war boss. He failed. Uh-oh. How far does he fall back? Wow, that is far. Run away! And now to the combat. Uh-oh. Alright, Moloch's attacks. 3 attacks, 4 to hit, 1 hit, 2 squish, 1 squish. Cop! All the boys get their attacks back. A lot of attacks. And there we go, 3 waves. 3s to hit. Wow. 6s to wound. No wounds. Second wave, 3s. And 6s. 2 wounds. And final wave, 3s. And 6s. Nothing. 2 armor saves on the Moloch. And he's alive. Now the claw. 3s. 1 hit. 2s to kill. He's a dead. He's a dead. Waaagh. They're going to consolidate 4 inches. Alright, so after Tyranid's turn 4, Tyranids now have the orcs on the ropes. It's getting crazy. They essentially are going to get this objective because the war boss is around, but he might be able to regroup and come back. He just won't be able to for a couple turns. And look now, it's like those orcs are going to pretty much well defend that objective, but the problem is they need to get 2 objectives since they don't have first blood. They both teams have Linebreaker, and that objective cannot be contested, or sorry, can be contested actually, sorry, by anything because they don't have the objective secured rule. So it's going to be an interesting turn 5. Let's see what happens in turn 5.
Waaagh! Ghazghkull! Turn 5.
So this is epic. Does the war boss regroup? No! Ouch! And he falls back 15 inches.
Run away!
So, since the war boss could not regroup, I'm going to call it here. This is an official game over. The reason being is thus. Orcs are actually going to finish off this Moloch. I don't think he's going to survive, and they're going to get that objective. Over here, though, this Moloch is going to secure that objective. So it's tied. 3 points, 3 points. Tyranids have first blood, and orcs are not going to be able to slay that Hive Tyrant to compensate for that. They also have Linebreaker, as do the orcs. So the final score officially would be 5-4. This war boss was the key, and since he fell back, he can't regroup this turn. He can't, and if he regroups next turn, turn 6, all he can do is turbo boost right back onto the objective if it goes to turn 7, but that gives the High Tyrant 2 turns to kill him by shooting, and on average it should take less than half a turn to kill him. So we're going to call it there, / me call it there, but I really hope you enjoyed this battle report. I hope you enjoyed the Tactica parts of each part of the battle report and why I did each thing. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the post game, and it was a victory for the Tyranids. So there you have it. It's a Tyranid victory overall, but it was a very close match. So if you really hope you enjoyed this battle report, and if you did, click on the link below for a free 14-day trial subscription to my premium YouTube channel, The Warp. In it you'll find many more battle reports. In fact, today I'll be playing as my wife, so I actually have an opponent for this battle report for The Warp. It'll be really cool. And you'll also find start to finish painting tutorials, a 5-month preview of Miniature Painting 101, and just some awesome wargaming content that I think you're really going to love. So thank you very much for checking out this battle report, and I'll see you in the post game.